What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's a daily rap video after the send-off of Baldur's Gate 3 and of course the night stream of Like a Dragon Infinite Beg. So yes, it was the final playthrough and the game that has kept DSP Gaming afloat is going bye-bye and being replaced by, of course, Final Fantasy. We know Phil believes that Final Fantasy will save the business. That will be the playthrough that will save the business. And we all know nothing can save that sinking ship. So let's see what Phil had to say on the Daily Wrap.
A different kind of week because we've got a ginormous hype new release coming out this Thursday in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I want to be here for it. So because of that, I changed my streaming week to make it only a 5-day shorter week. So I will not be here tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about what we did today. What a great streaming day today was.
By the way, yes, your boy Duty is jumping out the gate rather quickly here, but I do want to talk about the schedule and how interesting that Phil can alter his weekly schedule and the day off to fit a playthrough, quote unquote. The funny thing is that if you watch yesterday's podcast, someone commented and said, "What's that noise in the background? What's that noise?" And of course, Phil chimed in and said, "That's the shower." So who exactly was taking a shower? Of course, it must have been Kat. Kat was taking a shower. The interesting thing I wanted to point out is it seems like Kat's been around a lot more lately. Like, we know before she had a part-time job and maybe worked 3 or 4 days a week, but most of the time while Phil was streaming, Kat was gone. She was MIA. And we know Phil would take that daily break in the middle of his podcast to, of course, use the bathroom and go say hi to his wife. That hasn't happened in probably months. And of course, that leads to speculation that our girl, the fat cat, is no longer working. She probably got fired or quit or what have you. And that could be a reason why she decided to come back on to Phil's podcast. Maybe she's bored, she's not working, and maybe she thought, you know what? I might be able to come back and stream again and have my own streaming career. And I could beg, just like Phil, and make more tips than he can. But of course, after 4 streams of that, she said, "Fuck this, I'm out, I'm not doing this crap. I'm tired of people calling me fat. I'm tired of people talking about my haircut or lack of hair." And she bounced. She wage quit, just like it seemed like she quit her job. So I just wanted to highlight and point that out, that I found that very interesting. I know some folks have talked about Kat not possibly working or lost her job, and I think this is potential confirmation that Kat's just spending her days in the snort fort, eating more DoorDash and playing more Skyrim. So let's keep going.
First of all, on today's Level 1 podcast, we talked about various different things, including the adjustment of my microphone to now sound a little bit better. But now I have to kind of adjust the gameplay audio on the fly because all my games need to be different levels now to be in sync with the louder mic. We talked about game news, multiple pieces of game news today. Sadly, Sony layoffs, which really sucks, and other things. We chilled, we hung out, we had fun discussion. It was a great podcast overall. And then we swung into more Baldur's Gate 3. The final Baldur's Gate 3 stream of this crazy 2 to 2.5 month run that I've been doing, having this be the major featured stream for most of the time. Now it takes a back seat to Final Fantasy. I'll still play it, but only once a week. Okay? So what did we do in Baldur's Gate 3 today? We explored, which is pretty much exactly what you do every time you play Baldur's Gate 3. This time we're actually in Baldur's Gate, and we went into these barracks. We found this way to go into the sewer system. Down in the sewers, we fought multiple followers of Baal. Basically unlocked several different quests down there and got legs of quests done that we don't even have the quests yet, but I think we found the things we need to complete the quest when we actually run into them. Notably, one of our party members was kidnapped by Orin, and we know who it is now. Remember, we had been told the stream before there was a doppelganger in our midst, a faker. Well, now we know who the faker is, and now the plot has really picked up. It's like now you have to choose: are you going to side with Orin? Are you going to side with the other guy? Like, who do you want to take out essentially in order to try to get to the end of the game? And we have to make our decision, okay? Anyway, all that happening, then we went back out of the sewers, back to the surface. We went to this whole nautical area, like the docks of Baldur's Gate, and there's this whole other plot line with a funeral going on, and now we're in a warehouse full of oil and stuff. Just crazy stuff, like tons of stuff we keep stumbling upon. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? Had a great time, a great audience, and I just want to say to everyone, who followed this Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough for the last 2.5 months, thank you. Whether you were there live for the streams, whether you were on demand watching after the fact, whether you supported the streams or maybe you did contribute in another way, thank you for that, all right? Really, Baldur's Gate 3 kept the channel going at a time when a lot of other games were disappointing or they just didn't catch on. Like, I wish Tekken 8 caught on more than it has. I love it, but it just didn't. I wish that Like a Dragon would be more popular, but it really never is, right? So for me, Baldur's Gate 3 is the game that has been keeping stuff going here on the channel for 2.5 months. And I had a great time with it, but man, now it is time to scale it back with Final Fantasy VII being so hyped, so in demand, and the big release for a while, and I got to play the heck out of it because I got to try to get through it this month before all these other new releases hit around the 3rd week of March, right? So I really got to play a lot of it in a short period of time.
Okay, every once in a while, not that often, but every once in a while, Phil actually tells the truth. And it counters everything that he's said up to this point. Now, if you hear Phil, depending on the day, or depending on when he needs money for WWE champions, the business is either doing well or great, or the business is at risk of getting shut down. Those are the two for Phil. And he contradicts himself over and over again. In January, he talked about how the business was doing great. Yeah, his views were down. Yeah, no one was watching his content. But the money was still the same. He didn't lose any money at all in 2023. And that's bullshit. I go through a weekly financial analysis of his money. I look at his tips and his super chats, which are the bulk of it. I look at his view count, which I can determine how much ad revenue he gets pretty close. The only thing I really can't do is the memberships. But even if you factor in all that information, Phil lost nearly 20% of his income between 2023 and 2022. A couple percentages up or down around there, but it's roughly about 20%. So if this guy averages about 120K a year, you're talking a significant chunk of money. So he talks out of both sides of his mouth. But days like this, where he's talking about Baldur's Gate, and yeah, he's doing it on the Daily Wrap, and no one really watches this, he tells you the truth. And the truth is, all of his playthroughs, everything he's done, his marathons, the Christmas marathon, whatever he did for Thanksgiving, the Super Bowl Begathon, those events were just trash. And Phil will try to make you to believe, no, everything's great, everything's perfect, everything's awesome. But days like this, he actually tells the truth. And he's telling the truth right now that if it wasn't for Baldur's Gate 3, he would have been extremely fucked. Because Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, averaged about $100 per playthrough. If you look at all his playthroughs, he did about 30 playthroughs, $100. That brought in about $3,000 for the last 2 months or so. So if it wasn't for that, he would be in shit's creek. The guy would probably either need to get a job, or he'd need to pimp out a cat, or something. I don't think he's going to get a job because that's just not in Phil's nature. But I just find it interesting. That's why, when people say, why do you watch the Daily Wrap? It's so boring. It's because he tells the truth occasionally on the Daily Wrap, and he lets you know what he's really thinking. And what he's really thinking is he's telling the truth here. If it wasn't for Baldur's Gate, he'd be up shit's creek. And you notice, little by little, now that we're in February, going in March, and he's talking about the YouTube check and so on, he's telling the truth. He is telling the truth that his super chats are just fucking in the toilet. Memberships are non-existent because of the Argentinian detractors. And tips or super chats, or no one gives a shit. No one cares about Tekken. No one cares about Yakuza, and he continues playing those. The only thing that's brought in any cash whatsoever, again, is Baldur's Gate. And what he's going to do is he's going to put it on the fucking side. He's going to put it on the back burner, right? Thinking that he'll be able to bring it back in a month or two. And it'll get people be hyped up for it and give him more money to play Final Fantasy. When has Final Fantasy ever brought in big viewers or cash for Phil? It never has. It never has. He may get the hype for the initial playthrough, the first playthrough, but then the second playthrough at the night is going to be dead. And it's going to follow the same pattern in all of these other games. Zelda, Hogwarts, all of these playthroughs that he did, it's going to follow the same sick pattern. And he's going to get pissed off and frustrated. And we're going to see Baldur's Gate back again. Fuck this 1 day a week bullshit. No. Give him to next week or the week after that, and we're going to see Baldur's Gate back again in full force 3 or 4 times a week because it's the only thing that's propping up this fucking guy's business.
But don't worry. Baldur's Gate 3 will continue, just at a much more casualized pace, which I think is a good thing. Do you want to know why? When I started playing Baldur's Gate 3, It was some of the most views I'd gotten in months on anything. The views on the streams were huge. The views on the on-demand videos were giant. And then what happened was, we got 10 hours in. We got 20 hours in. We got 30 hours in. We got 40 hours in. We got 50. And once you get that much into any game, all the viewership trails off. Why? Because not everyone has time to watch that much in a short period of time. I guarantee you there's many of you out there who are probably watching my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, and you're in the early parts, right? You're going to get through it eventually. You're excited to get to hour 100, but you're just not there yet. So over time, more people will get caught up and be more excited. Maybe you'll actually eventually tune into a Baldur's Gate 3 stream when you're caught up with the playthrough on demand now, right? Since I'm only playing it once a week, it's 3 hours a week. We still got like 30 more hours to go. We could potentially be playing this for months. So yeah, I see it like this is an opportunity for those of you watching on demand. Now get caught up. There isn't Baldur's Gate 3 4 or 5 times a week anymore, so you can get caught up on demand, and then hopefully by the time you get caught up, you can come to the daily or the weekly streams that we're going to be doing, okay? Anyway, great Baldur's Gate stream today, and then tonight, it was Like a Dragon, Infinite Well, and a great stream. A ginormous chunk of big story development happened. A huge thing happened that was really positive and fun and awesome. New party building, new jobs, new good stuff, going off, doing more side questing, even had a little bit of extra time at the end, so went back to the optional dungeon and actually grinded for a little bit and got some good rewards there. So all in all, a great night of Like a Dragon. Had a great time again, and a great way to end the streaming week. A little short, but it still was a great solid day, okay? I have an update on some other things. DSP throwback. This morning you may have noticed that even though every day there's a new part of the Heavy Rain playthrough, and there still will be for another couple days, I think it's actually...
All right, I'm going to stop you here real quick because I love how he's just skirting by the Yakuza playthrough, the Like a Dragon. I know people like Yakuza. They like those games. And it's a fine game. It's okay. It's not my cup of tea. It's okay. But honestly, no one wants to watch other people play. It's one of those games that you love to play yourself, but you really don't give a shit if someone else plays it. You know what I mean? Unless the person is extremely entertaining, an entertaining content creator, which Phil is fucking not. He's boring as fucking dirt. So he brings nothing to it whatsoever. And yesterday he made $9. $9, and that came off the last time he played Yakuza where he made $5. Yeah, he needs to just yeet that fucking game. Just don't play it, yeet it, because no one gives a shit. You can wage quit it, Phil. You can wage quit it. And what I just okay, a normal person, that is a good content creator will sit there and say, okay, the only thing that's making money is Baldur's Gate, and Final Fantasy is coming out in the type. Let me play Final Fantasy during the day and then Baldur's Gate at night, and then switch it back and forth. That way, hopefully, I can make some nice chunk of change and save the business. But not Phil. No, he wants to be a stubborn asshole, play Yakuza at night, and no one watch it, and then he'll sit there and bitch and complain after the fact. After the fucking fact, we'll sit there and blame people for not watching it and supporting it. Stop being fucking stubborn. Just do what people want and be cool with it. If your aim, Phil's aim, everyone knows that Phil's aim is making money. He's the only one that's oblivious to it. He's the only one that doesn't believe it. But everyone in the world, Phil, even your fucking dents, know that you stream to make money. So why don't you do the things that make money? That way you don't have to fucking beg. You don't have to fucking complain that no one watches certain playthroughs. You don't have to complain about your fucking views on your channel, because let's fucking admit it, all your 3 channels are fucking dead, and the only thing that props you up are a handful of whales that come on during your streams and throw cash your way. Your 1 Minute Man, your OICs, and the other little fucking dents that come in to drop some cash. If it's not for them, you're fucking dead in the water, because I'm sorry, you got 3 channels and barely cracked 500,000 views, which is fucking abysmal for someone that has over 200,000 subs. Over 200,000 subs. I know channels that have 100,000 subs that can easily clear 3 or 4 million views a month. Easily. And they're pumping out 2 or 3 videos a week max. Even fucking Boogie, as lazy as Boogie is, and as little content he fucking pumps out, right? He can make about 2 or 3 million views a fucking month. Boogie DSP, Boogie of all fucking people. Anyway, let's keep going.
Continuing all the way through Thursday. You may have noticed there was no other gameplay today, and you're probably wondering, there was no Final Fantasy, there was no Red Dead. What happened? My editors have run into a little bit of a snag. They were doing some upscaling, and something happened, and it basically didn't finish, so they didn't have a video for today. But they're going to continue to work on that. And it looks like there will be a new video for tomorrow. I'm hoping this isn't an ongoing thing. If it is, it's not a huge deal if every once in a while there's a delay in a video. Let's be honest here. Those videos, I mean, now we're like part 30-something for Final Fantasy 13. We're reaching almost part 30 in Red Dead. People are not watching them actively and going crazy for them anymore. It's like 100 views a day, right? It's not a lot. So it's not the end of the world. At the same time, I know some of you have been following, and you may be wondering what happened today. That's what happened. There should be a new video tomorrow, and I'm hoping to stay consistent moving forward, but I'll let you know if it won't be, okay? All right, I am not here tomorrow.
All right, I can't take anymore. I got like what, 2 minutes left, and I'm throwing in the towel. Yes, Phil, we know Throwback Act is fucking. What a ridiculous concept the Throwback channel is. And by the way, anyway, what I wanted to say too is don't forget your boy Duty has a new channel. Duty the Tractor Throwback channel. That's right. It's gonna be premiering soon. It should be a lot of fun and more information to come out of it. But yeah, no one gives a shit, Phil. No one gives a shit. That's why you're fucking pushing memberships, which are fucking dead because of the Argentinian detractors are slamming you. And all you can really do is do your one stream a week and beg for tips and super chats. How long are you gonna do that until that shit dries up, Phil? And you know it's gonna fucking dry up like everything else you fucking do. 2 or 3 times people are interested and then it dries up. That's what's happening with the playthrough. It's drying the fuck up on you. You know, I know the last stream you made a nice chunk of change because one of your dents came out and threw about $300 in super chats. But that's not gonna fucking happen every time you do this shit weekly. And you like always want to milk everything, and you're gonna try to figure out, okay, well if I made $400 on one night stream, then maybe I should do it 2 or 3 times. And it's just no one cares. No one cares. Think of new stuff. I just don't get this guy. This guy refuses to do anything fucking new and innovative. He just wants to do the same shit. For example, the birthday bash. You know what his big thing that he's gonna do for the birthday bash? Review the fucking schedule for the fucking year. Good Jesus. Anyway, I'm out, man. Peace out.